The Jew saw them all, beat them all, and is now what he always was. All things are mortal but the Jew. All other forces pass, but he remains. What is the secret of his immortality?
Seth, hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the Thejewfunction. Seth, you might want to throw some light on your beautiful face there. You're a little in the
Okay.
dark. Welcome to the Thejewfunction, another live episode, another live talk. I'm actually, I want to let everyone know that we have two amazing talks in the hopper. They're being edited as we speak. One with Rabbi Leo D, and one with Brad Pomerantz from JLTV. Both were just amazing talks, and they were just recorded, so they're getting packaged and they're going to go on our channel soon. So check them out. Make sure you sign up, you register, you hit the bell for all the updates, all the good stuff. And we're happy to meet here under, not the best circumstances, but at least it forces us to meet and to have conversations with some amazing people, which I feel like it's a lot of what being Jewish is all about, right? It's having amazing conversations with amazing people. Did you find the same experience?
Yeah, and I just spoke to someone who got back from Europe, even though Europe is going through all kind of changes now.
Oh yeah, they're going to vote the Nazis back in Germany, I heard.
So
So,
lot, lot of well, I think so this is a bigger conversation about immigration and what's happening and how the world, what's the kind of the bigger plan that the Creator has for the world, and how it's going to happen with our participation, or a little more difficultly, but in short, in a more just fun and observational way, the culture of Europe is way more social than the culture of the US. The culture of the US is very much like work, 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 work. You get up in the morning, and like the person who like works longer and harder is seen as a more respectable person. Maybe it's different, I think, in the younger generation, but at least for us, it's like he's self-made, or he's working all
yeah,
the time, or he's
yeah,
work,
of
work, work.
course.
And in Europe, it's way more social. Like, the cafes in the street, and you don't work from sundown, from sunrise to sunset every single day. You have meals together, you eat outside together, you walk places together. And I think that being a Jew is like very social. There's something that we're totally lacking when we're outside of Israel. Um,
Oh, you feel that it's lacking outside of, yeah, I guess. I heard somewhere that the Jews were so social, and especially when terrible things happen.
you got music on?
Yeah, I got a little bit of music.
Okay. Okay.
So, I heard that the Jews were, during the Holocaust, the early years when they were gathered in the ghettos, even there they would go walk around, tell Holocaust jokes to each other. So it was, it's something about our people, I guess. But the question that we're trying to find an answer to is how we can use all those things that we have and we don't necessarily feel that we have. And this is a little spoiler into the talk that we had with Brad from JLTV, because we talked about, like, okay, what are the things that you love about being Jewish? Because he had a hard time defining a Jew, but he had an easy time pointing out all these great things that we have, that we take for granted, that we appreciate, but take for granted, right? Like different qualities, that social qualities, and how we relate, and different values and things. And we kind of like we walk around with it as if this is no big deal, not realizing that half the world doesn't have it. Some of them don't even know about it. Others know about it, they can't have it. And we couldn't help but wonder if this is maybe an easier way of talking about what is missing from the world, what we have, and what, how we can plug that. What's like that missing puzzle piece that we hold, and we keep trying to put a different puzzle piece, like, it's this piece. Like the world's like, no, it's not this piece. We want the other piece. So I hope we can find that. We can get closer to finding that piece today We have a great guest, someone that we tracked on Instagram. Actually, we decided to shift, gears a little bit, move away from X, formerly known as Twitter, and look into Instagram. And I find people a little more easygoing on Instagram, so it's nice. She insisted she insists she doesn't have any titles, but she's I'll tell you that she started in America, in the U.S., not Jewish, but not so Jewish. But then she went through a certain journey, and she ended up in Israel, and she's also a photographer. And we want to talk to her about that journey and about the place, what she found in Judaism, and then the place that Israel has for her. So let's give a warm welcome to Mairi Honigman. Yay.
Hi, Mairi.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. So where are you now?
I'm in a little yishuv called Tekoa. Yishuv Tekoa. It's like 15 minutes south of Ramat Rachel, like the bottom of Jerusalem.
Is it above Bethlehem or below Bethlehem?
Below, we're in the Gush, so not the Shomron. Yeah.
Gush. Because every person knows what the Gush is,
Yeah.
Gush
I
Etzion,
mean,
there's a whole
Gush.
thing. Yeah, you can read about it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But is it considered part of the land of Israel, or is it territories? Where is it?
It's in the territories. The yishuv I live in has been around since the 70s. It was a military outpost, so it's been around one of the longest ones that's been around. And it's legal by Israel standards, just like obviously not anyone else's. Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let's contextualize everything. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory of how a young woman from the United States ends up in a
We're in the United States, but you're it's like a
From the
Brooklyn?
Upper West Side.
Upper West Side, yeah, right. I remember. It was like Upper West Side. What was?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what street, by the way?
84th and Broadway.
That's where Seinfeld was, right?
Yeah, 2 blocks. I was about to say 2 blocks south of
I had a
Bronx.
very strange childhood in terms of media, not in like a religious way, obviously. I grew up very secular, and I guess not obviously, but
Wait, what decade are we talking about? Because Seth and I are old
Oh.
already. You probably,
We're
the early
70s, you're
2000s.
80s.
I was born in 93.
Thousands.
Yeah. Wait, what? I'm
Because
30.
I always feel like we're still younger.
yeah, we're
Young. We're all young.
young at heart. Yeah, but we're in our 50s.
AD 120. We're all young.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
Okay, so you grew up on the Upper West Side, like
up on
the
the
Karl
Upper West
Bach
Side?
Shul and all that stuff.
no
She was born.
shul.
Seth. She was born. I started my military service in Israel. When she
Oh
was
wow. That's cool.
amazing.
Yeah, from the Upper West Side. My mom's from the Upper West Side. My grandma was from the Upper West Side, and then I think before that it was Queens in the Bronx.
Uh-huh.
And the family's, like 3rd generation.
Or like
New York-
fifth?
Fifth
Fifth or-
generation.
From like Pale of Settlement. But like very assimilated. My family was reformed like back in Europe.
Back when it was not fashionable. to
Back
be
when it was
reformed.
like not a like how do I say this without being mean?
No, just be mean. It's fine.
We want to blend our families. How can we do that in America? Oh, reform meme. Like, yeah, no.
Well,
Um,
Upper West Side is
which
a
part?
Jewish neighborhood.
Sorry?
It's still a Jewish neighborhood, Upper West
Oh
Side.
yeah. Yeah. It's still Jewish. It's very Jewish.
Wait,
But like
hold on. Which part
secular
of Europe?
Jewish.
Which part of
Huh?
Europe? What are we talking
The
about?
Pale Settlement. My mom, Krebice. I think that's the specific town. My mom loves digging around, so she found something.
So
where
a
it's
shtetl somewhere.
settled. Yeah. Like on the Lithuanian, Polish, Russian
Yeah.
border.
Okay, good.
yeah.
Good. That's a good roots.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It
So
is
back
what
to
it
you.
is.
So back to you. So here you are. It's the early 2000s. You're in the Upper West Side. Happy go lucky. What's
Or maybe not happy-go-lucky.
okay.
I don't know. What do you want to know? I'm
No,
open.
I'm
I just don't
interested.
know.
I'm interested in how you go from a
Ah.
clean, orderly New York City. I mean, parts of New York are chaotic, but the Upper West Side is clean and orderly,
Pretty clean.
and families, and then how do you go from that? You can get whatever you want any hour of the day.
Yeah.
Everything's 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 available to you. All these new features. Everything is available to you. It's a quote unquote comfortable life, and then you move to
The Wild Wild West
the
Bank.
wild, wild west.
Well,
Yeah,
so
and
bridge that.
become
What
religious.
happened? How
Yeah,
did
so a lot happened. I love my mom and my dad. They separated when I was 1.5. So like my mom raised me. Whoa, wait, how do I don't want to see
No, no.
myself.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This
That's
is
for
for
the
the
sake of our viewers.
Oh, okay.
viewers.
I'll try
Focus
to
on
ignore
us.
my face. Um, yeah, so I grew up I think like the most assimilated you can be with still like having a Jewish identity. Like I knew I was Jewish. A lot of people ask me like, did you know you're Jewish? I'm like, yeah, but
there were telltale signs.
yeah. But it would be things like my grandma who had a huge influence on like I don't know, choices my mom and I made for me and her, and I don't know, very close. She'd have like Christmas parties and serve shrimp. Like you would think they were Soviet Jews kind of a thing, but they weren't. And I don't know, my mom, like, I think when she and my dad separated, she wasn't raised with any religious Judaism. So she kind of went like, I don't know what to give her. Let's just go to church because that's what my dad knew. And then she sung in the choir at church, and she'd be like, I don't believe in this. Like, and I'd say like, okay, like who's Jesus? And she's like, I don't care. Like, we don't believe in this. I'm Jewish. At the end of the day, I'm a Jew. And I'm like, I grew up very confused. Like, I think she did her best, but even now, like, God bless her, I adore my mom. We're very close, not too close. But she says, I wish I had more to have given you because it clearly resonates so much now. Okay, so I did classical ballet from the time I was like 7.5, 8, which is actually quite late, and immediately decided I want this to be my career. I'm kind of like an all or nothing person. So when I was 12, we moved to Pennsylvania so I could pursue more intense training. And then San Francisco, when I was 15, I got into a really good program there. And then my hip gave out. And that's when I was like on a God hunt. Like, yeah. So
He gets us all one way or another, right?
basically, I mean,
He finds a way to get us.
I also think, to be honest, that there was a degree of rebellion, and like knowing that my mom wasn't a big Christian, I was like, how can I press the buttons? It's like tattoos and Christianity. And yeah, so I started going to church, and I felt like maybe because my hip gave out at such a young age and I had like the scans of an 80-year-old arthritically, if that's a word. Yeah, like my body's like pretty messed up from ballet at such a young age. I was like angry, searching for purpose, searching for reasons, asking a lot of questions, and really needing community, which I didn't have. Homeschooled in the ballet world, like very professional. My first paycheck was at age 11. I tried Christianity, long story short. And after about 4 years, I went to a Christian college and was asking them really hard questions, and they didn't know how to answer them. And I'm like, oh, I'm a Jew. Like,
yeah, we don't ask so many questions here. Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I was very turned off by the fact that I couldn't ask my whatever New Testament teacher who speaks ancient Greek and can read ancient Greek, and I guess not speaks, must read ancient Greek, he doesn't know the answer. Why? Or like, why don't you ask me questions to get to the answer? Or that's just how my brain works. Like, I want to ask hard questions, and I don't want. I'm a Jew. And my mom actually said, she's like, I'll let you go to this college, but only because blind faith is BS. Like, I don't believe in that. So you're going to go, but you're going to go learn about this crap you believe in. So just very Jewish culturally. And I don't think I appreciated that then. I was like, okay, that's my mom. She's weird, like teenager. Whatever. So after Christianity and deciding I really didn't believe in it at the end of the day, or kind of throughout, like there were key things I was just like uncomfortably didn't believe in, but I was searching. I read a small handful of books on atheism, and I never actually didn't believe in anything, so that didn't work out. And then during the pandemic, I finally went, all right, let's find a rabbi. And I found a wonderful rabbi from Chabad, of course, who I said, do I need to convert? Like, it's been so far away from my family for this long. And he's like, no, you can't convert if you wanted to. Like, you're a Jew. Um,
You're stuck.
and fell in love. I like totally fell in love with it on a religious level, not just like an angry anti-Semitism level. And as soon as I started, I think, standing up for other Jews, everyone started asking me, so have you been to Israel? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even know what Palestinians were.
Wait a second. Before we get to the whole Palestine
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
did you experience any anti-Semitism, or you just kind of saw it from the side or heard about
No,
it?
I did. That's I think that's when I started going like, I will never, I wasn't raised with anything religiously, but I was raised with the morals of my mom. I remember going to kindergarten, literally. My mom saying, you might be blonde, but you're a Jew. And I don't care if you look Jewish. She's very tachlis. She said if Hitler comes back, or if Hitler came back, you would go to the gas chambers too. So anytime you see someone making fun of a Jew, you have to step in because no one else will. To a 5-year-old. So it was always like in my consciousness. And then I think in my mid-20s, I moved back to New York from Boston and bopping around photo stuff. I had 2 incidents where people I was around assumed I wasn't Jewish, and they said things, and I like had to say, excuse me, like, you can't say that. And here's why. Like, let's debunk this very anti-Semitic trope you just spewed. So I guess it wasn't at me, but it was next to me enough that it felt very personal. One was a big nose comment, and the other was like a greed, lust, wealth comment. And then online, I get anti-Semitism all the time. So I don't know. That doesn't, to me, it's like, okay, you're
So
entertaining. Go away.
I want to just dig in a little more to. So you're on a search, you're on a spiritual search or some kind of search, whether it
Mhm.
was through dance or through Christianity or through whatever. Um, and then what about the Jewish thing? I'm asking you because I want to know if there's things for. So how old were you when you found
When I
Judaism?
started
Yeah.
considering
When you
Judaism,
found Jesus?
oh,
No.
Jesus.
No.
No, not Jesus.
Uh,
Jude.
Judaism, I
Yeah.
was 26.
Okay,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm interested to know if there's anything for 26-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, maybe even a little younger,
Yeah.
who get the God bug, who get the meaning bug.
Yeah,
What was it about this that, because you had a you had a serious try with Christianity, so you can
I
really
did.
compare,
Dated
like
for a
what,
long time.
yeah, you
Um,
dated for a long time. So what did you get from this that you didn't get somewhere else? What is it? What did this offer you in your life?
oh wow. So I don't even, where would I even start? All of it. I think the first thing that really struck a chord with me, the more I dug into Judaism and like listening to Rabbanim and reading Chabad and Aish, like just like what you can get without community. Because I was in North Brooklyn where they're actually like there's a big anti-Semitic population of Poles, funnily enough.
What,
Um,
Greenpoint?
yeah,
Yeah. I
I
live
mean
in
I
Millen.
love Greenpoint, but
Yeah, it's
not, I wouldn't live there now. Um, I think the biggest thing that struck me is that like I don't need to earn it. Whether I end up an atheist or whether I'm whatever, God forbid, a Messianic Jew, like whatever it is, I'm Jewish. I can't, nothing I can do can remove me from our fold. So I better love it, first of all. And then second of all, when I started looking into I don't know, core tenets of Judaism, whether that's more from like a who are we as a people to um 13 principles, I don't know, like anything. I was most of it I already believed in. So it was very easy for me to go like, oh yeah, it's logical. Like minus like what's it called? Hux? Like mitzvot that don't make sense. But at least Judaism says it doesn't make sense. We're just doing it. There's no like, let's try to mental gymnastics our way into
Is it
explaining.
so? Okay, so now in the U.S., for example, there's a huge thing around. I don't know. I saw some poll this morning, but I didn't pay attention to the number. But like there's a significant percentage of young people who are LGBTQ now,
Yeah.
and there's all different kinds of I don't know, people not dating at all,
Yeah, I
and
know.
like people not
There's
going to like having any
statistics
kind
out
of
there.
religion or anything like that. So my question is, um, so you're an unusual person, like, right? You like started, you like took on dancing, like in a very serious way. Like
Yeah,
you're kind of like an
all or
all
nothing.
in kind of person. So maybe it's not relevant, but I'm wondering if there's something in your journey that could be relevant um, for other people of your generation
Yeah.
who are lost now or don't have perspective now or looking for something now.
Um,
We're not interested looking to make people religious. That's not our
yeah,
goal.
yeah, that's
We
also
just
not
want
my
to find
interest.
what
It
is
has
the
to come from
Jewish
the
thing
person.
that, what does the
I
Jewish thing have to offer the world?
I think that's the hardest part of living in the diaspora as a younger Jew. Like if you don't believe in it, which I can understand conceptually, even if it's not my own thing. A lot of my friends are not religious. A lot of my friends before October 7th weren't Jewish. Um, I feel like that's a huge handicap for Jews in America who don't want to be from. And they have every right to take their time or not do it at all. Like that's their prerogative. And it's one of the, I'm an Aliyah advocate. Like that's one of the biggest reasons I think being a Jew here in Israel, like you have traditional and traditional is acceptable. In America, it's kind of like, what's that? Like you must fit into one of these movements, reform, conservative, orthodox. And like if you don't, it's extremely hard. I mean, yeah, I would say there are now more hubs where there's a program called Key, I think. I went to one of their gatherings, where it doesn't matter, you don't need to be religious, and it's just like a social gathering for Jews, young Jews. I think they're popping up more because the Jewish world is seeing a problem with basically saying, unless you go to shul, like, good luck.
So
Um,
you think that maybe I probably wasn't aware of
oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in in the U.S. I grew up in Israel and then moved.
Mhm.
So, but I didn't grow up religious. Also, I grew up secular, and so I just observed everything, but um, everything around me. But I'm curious if this is maybe the reason why, at least from young American Jews, it's hard for them to maybe find their way to the heart, to the essence of what Judaism is about, what Jews are about,
Yeah,
because of these like it's I gotta fit into this or this box, and it's like
yeah.
I don't fit into these boxes, so I'm just gonna go do some organic farming and yoga.
Actually, that totally. I mean, it's a funny trope, but it's also like
That's right. It's a reality. I know.
reality.
I have all these friends. What do you?
I had a
I'm gonna
farming stint,
renovate.
by the way. I was a farmer for 2 years.
Oh, we all were.
Yeah. Um, really, I know this is like not an answer anyone wants to hear, and maybe it's not the answer, but like spend time on a kibbutz, like come here. If you're gonna be secular and if you want Jewish community,
But what does it
time to
offer
come
a
home.
person that they can't, what does it offer a person that they can't find somewhere else?
I think just the nature of being surrounded by so many different kinds of Jews here, like you can't find that in the US. You can't go to I mean, I think there is actually a farm now that I'm thinking about it in the like San Francisco area that is like run by lefty Jews and they all farm together and there's no real religion aspect, but
But are there any righty Jews there as well,
right,
or no?
exactly. Like there are two sides of the spectrum that probably need some kind of community home. I think it's a huge problem. And I also wonder if part of solving that is on the end of religious people saying, come hang out with us. You don't need to believe what we believe. Like you can ask the questions and you can say, I actually don't believe in this aspect. Or like I struggle with this and that like I have those. Like I think if people were just a little more honest.
It's funny. Is this you're already like the third guest? I mean, that talks about this need for honest questions, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, this
having
guest,
doubt.
this
Like
guest
isn't
here,
that
Rabbi Iggy Gurin, originally from Belgium, then lives in New York, and is
Also
I think
covered
I
in
listened to part of
tattoos.
his interview.
what's that?
You interviewed him?
Yeah, yeah, he was
I
not
think yeah, I
interviewed.
think I listened to part of it.
Okay. So he was like, it's time for radical honesty, and
Yeah.
just like
Radical honesty doesn't hurt anyone if you're actually strong enough to support it.
Before we go take another step deeper, just to finish the timeline. So you, as part of your, all or nothing attitude, you decide to, you sort of, you got the Jewish bug, and then you decide to come to kibbutz, like do was like, or just move to Israel. It's just
I
like,
just so I did Taglit at the like I think now
Taglit.
it's like
Yeah.
closer to the last year you can do it, but then like how old I'm 30, 27. Sorry. uh then I had a couple more years, but I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Fine. I was just very like, I don't like groups. I don't like being on other people's timelines. I like driving. I don't want to be in a bus. But thank God it's a free program. Like, what an amazing bracha. And I realized it then. I think I would still consider myself, then I would have still consider myself secular, but not completely. Like not completely. Definitely like the most religious person on my secular trip. So I came, and it was one of those things where I was kind of like, yeah, everyone's telling me as soon as I got off the plane, it's gonna feel like some magical, mystical moment. And I did, and I was like ready to be like, "Ah." And I absolutely fell in love. Like the second I got off the plane, I went, oh, excuse me, can I curse? I went like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like I'm doomed. I have to make a new life decision now. But I gave it the 2 weeks, and then I
Just
was
a
like, all right.
feeling.
It was like this a big, yeah, it was like this like, oh shoot, like I've moved around a ton in my life, from ballet, from probably other
I got the
psychological
chills.
reasons. Um, and it was the first time I'm like, oh, this is where I've been looking for. Like, shoot.
Mm. What
Um,
is it, just a feeling, or was there some thoughts attached to it?
oh, the ton of thoughts. Like there were always thoughts. But it was, I think the feeling paired with the thought was what made me go like, oh no, I have to reconsider everything now. Um,
What
yeah,
was
it
the
was really
feeling?
like, wow, the land itself. I'm like a pretty crunchy, earthy person. So combining that with the like the ideology, and really believing, and like if you look at genetics, knowing that this is my shared people group genetically, like
Mhm.
we're all more related to each other than our diaspora countries. This is just as it's an insane reality here.
Okay, so cool. This is beautiful, and I got the chills when you said it.
Huh.
So I want to now
Like I'm
ask another
talking way too
question.
much.
Spiegler, I'm kind
Right?
of taking over here, but I'm super interested because I went through a similar journey
Mm,
a long time
Yeah.
ago.
want to hear?
By the way, I have the exact opposite experience, just to be, because
Hear me
You
out.
got to Brooklyn, and I was like,
yeah,
ah.
I
I'm
grew up in
home.
Israel. By the time when I was 26, I was like, I gotta get out of here. And then I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, Brooklyn, New York, I'm in
Brooklyn.
love. Nobody's gonna
Brooklyn's
talk to me
fun.
anymore. No, it was.
No one's gonna touch
I
me. They're gonna leave me alone.
Yeah, I needed. Listen, I needed
There
that.
are lines here, customer service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was already the end of customer service. Sadly, I kind of missed the boat on the big, the nice greedy New York that I met. Like I arrived in '98, I think was the first time I was there, and it was still like it was like
It's a
money
little
and
clean.
this, and it was gritty, and it was like
Oh
happening.
yeah.
By the time I moved in, then the Twin Towers fell, and then it was
Oh
like,
yeah. Things changed.
yeah, it
Things
was
changed drastically then.
drastically. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
Go back to your
okay,
story. Yeah.
so so it's like this thing is naturally developing. So you got there, you're compelled, like from your heart, or like from some feeling,
Yeah.
right? For because of the positives
Yeah.
that it offers, right? Like a
Yeah.
lot of benefits. Okay, so you have this role on social media now, which is dealing with negatives.
Right.
Okay, so my next question
You mean like
is,
terrorism?
um,
You mean
being
like the mold problem in every house?
anti-Semitism, being like against anti-Semitism.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, but however you want to
Mm-hmm.
bring it up. So I'll so just say something about this, that there's these two sides. One is like, because what we see most of the time when we're talking to most people about this topic is most people who make some career or some life out of around anti-Semitism, most of the Jews, it's
Right.
this against thing. They're
Yeah.
against this, they're
Really.
suing this, they're fighting this, they're organizing against that, they're
Right.
shutting down this, right? And but so far your journey's all been towards the good,
Yeah,
not against someone who's negative, right? So I'm interested in these two things
as much as I
and,
can be.
and how you relate to that.
I mean, I think you just summarized it. Um, yeah, I think something when I was thinking about this and like looking into your podcast and kind of reflecting on the past however many years I've been like vehemently, vocally anti-Semitic. There was a moment before I came to Israel, I think I was talking to my then rabbi, now friend, um, or I was listening to him or something, and him or someone we were with was saying you can't be anti-Semitic. You have to love being a Jew. You have to love your life, whatever that looks like. Doesn't necessarily mean religion at all. Like it can be cultural, it can be other things, but you have to love yourself. I don't really get along with the like self-love, self-care, so me. Like, okay, yeah, thing, but that really resonated because I realized that I have done other activism, mostly climate stuff, and I still care about climate, but it's anything that's vehemently anti something without the love of something else is not sustainable. I think anyone can be told, for example, like I was told from an early age, you have to care about Jews. And anyone can be empathetic. Like anyone can be told you have to care about this marginalized group, or like you have to care about us destroying the planet, whatever. But if it doesn't also come from a place of like, oh, but I love the earth, or I love being a Jew, it's not very personal. Like it's like okay, at the end of the day, I'm tired of activism or whatever you want to call it, advocacy. I need a break. And then a break turns into years not engaging. And I don't think I had experienced until that person said that. I can't remember who said like you have to love being a Jew. You can't just be an anti-Semite. I don't think I had really considered myself like a proud Jew. I didn't really understand that concept. So I feel like, yeah, does that get at what you're asking?
Yep.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little.
I want to know what's a proud you? What should we be proud about? But let's
Yeah,
get a
that's a
little
whole.
let's get a little commercial break here before we continue, and then you can tell us what it means to be a proud Jew.
I don't know if I know.
You can't change the world, right? You can't change a country, you can't change a city, you can't change a neighborhood. It's hard to get everyone in your building to agree on something, but you can change yourself, and that's what we're after. Little changes that will grow to a critical mass. What we're saying also is that we Jews, we've had it. There was a moment in time that Jews actually touched that quality that the whole world is waiting for us to give them, and which is what we're discussing in our talks. And you can hear about it in episode 7 of the Mystery Book podcast, the first 22 episodes of this whole series. And we go into some really heartwarming descriptions, right? Like the
Temple
Woodstock.
Love, that episode is called.
What's that? Temple Love, right?
Yeah, Temple Love.
Yeah, it was the Woodstock before Common Era.
Yeah, people should listen to that one and get a taste of something that they always knew should exist or could exist. It did exist. That's what we're looking to build. Check that out in episode number 7, Temple Love.
Well, this is the Thejewfunction, and let's get back to our guest. All right, so tell us, what do we have to be proud about? And when I say we, I mean you. I mean every person alive now, not some past Jews, not, oh, my uncle was Albert Einstein, so I can be proud, or, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do we now as humans do we have to be proud of as Jewish humans? Let's put it this way.
I think the mere fact that we've sustained our like an identity this long, despite all odds, despite pogroms and the Farhud and the Shoah and every single war waged on Israel since 48, 47, 48. I think that alone is kind of like we have a calling to continue. But I hear you in that I don't think and I agree in that it's not based on merit necessarily. I mean, part of it, yeah, part of it for sure. are we special? Are we chosen? Like
Good question.
Torah says yes, but like I think part of our specialness is just maintaining our identity. And I think my biggest fear is I'm talking about myself. I had a realization when I was like 27, that I'm the last Jew in my family's generation. Like it's up to me. Like if I'm going to continue this and if I'm going to instill any kind of Jewish pride or whatever word instead of pride or proud you want to use, like I'm gonna do that. So I think I wouldn't use the word proud personally. I think it's skewed or like not what we're getting at. Because you're right, it's like not about what our uncle did or what Einstein achieved or whatever. But I think this like sense of Am Israel pride, like all of us collectively are still here somehow. Like, how is that possible? It's insane.
It's insane. And look, this wasn't a trick question. We, you know, it's a no, because you're right. On the one hand, and we asked this several times, you know, of our guests, and everybody automatically goes to the nation, the peoplehood, right?
Yeah.
We're proud of that, and it's funny because we seem to not be able to get away from that. We're looked at collectively, we're judged collectively. The anti-Semites often refer to us, right, as a collective, as a monolith, as a right. And we're like, no, we're individuals, but look, you keep leaning into this collective all the time. The question is, maybe there's something about that collectivity that we're not utilizing yet relative to the rest of the world, and that kind of has to do with maybe the definition of a Jew. And I'm curious to know if your definition of a Jew has changed from when you started your journey to today, and if you have one, because I think having that definition will clue us in on a role, if there is a role, and then work. You know, what can we do about fulfilling it? So, yeah, just a few easy questions, and we can move on with the rest of the show. You know,
I don't feel pressure. It's more just like, oh my God, we're so much. My definition is like a very halachic, traditional. Your mom's a Jew, you're a Jew. Sorry.
okay, but that's like
No, but I mean,
no, that's the unconscious version, right? It's like, all right, it's a passive version.
Right, it's passive.
Where's my choice? What's
Right.
my what do I have to do, you know, to be that's
But
Jew?
I think people take it for granted. There's a study, I have it right here if I could screen share.
Yeah, sure.
Can I?
Yeah, of course. You
Right.
should.
Okay, hold on. My desktop is messy. Let's see if I can make this full
Share
screen.
only the document. You can show
Yeah,
only.
yeah. Here we go. Zoom. Screen share. There we go. Cool. So this is a study. And if you're like me, and you're raised secular, and your mom was raised secular, and your grandma was raised secular. Before that, my great grandmother was Reform, and her husband, and my step grandfather also secular. Then you'll see. I don't know if it will allow me to point. I don't think so.
Yeah,
You're doomed.
No,
You're doomed to end Jewry. Like, it's up to us. I think it's really important to realize the power each individual has to add to the collective. And I don't mean that in like a let's just make more babies way, but I think there's so much, like, it's such a zchut. It's such an honor. There we go.
Yeah.
To be a Jewish woman and to marry a Jew. And I went at a certain point when I was 27, I'd only dated non-Jews. And I went, oh my God, I need to find a Jewish husband. As annoying that is, I know that's like such a corny answer, but
Okay, let's go back to you.
marry a Jew. I think that's like a big rampage I've been on recently.
Okay, so hold on a sec. So like the guy who did the
Wait, hold on.
Oscars,
Stop the screen share so we can go back to you. Yeah.
the guy who spoke at the Oscars, right? Like he's also a Jew. You definitely wouldn't want to be
Right,
married.
but
to
he
a guy
didn't
like
marry a
that.
Jew. His children are not
But
Jewish.
forget about that. So
Okay.
but he wouldn't want to be married to a guy like that,
But
right?
fun
Like, it's not
fact,
a-
fun fact, he was, you know, he was actually in a kibbutz when he was young. He's friends of a friend of ours, you know, Alon Ashkenazi from Spain. He's and Gil Kedem, he's from their kibbutz, right? I mean, he was their kibbutz when he was younger, but you know, like every enlightened Jew who spends enough time abroad.
No, but the reason I'm asking is because it's not just to marry someone who, like, I get what you're saying, like to marry a Jew, but like Leo and I, like really loosely, we're not halachic rabbis, so we
Right.
can
Also,
very
sorry if I've been
loosely.
offensive. I'm
If you
not.
could tell, no.
No, no, you can tell. No, what we want to get to is like the spirit of the Jew kind of thing,
Right.
because you can get a guy who's got all the right blood,
Yeah.
but
And they're detached. They
Torquemada had the right blood. The guys the Maccabees were fighting
yeah,
had the right blood.
The Hellenized Jews also. That
They
Yeah,
all
whole
of
had good
course.
blood,
yeah.
so
Something internally was missing, though.
No, and
What's
also I think it's a bit racist. I mean, not racist, that's not whatever. It's a bit creepy to be like, ooh, Jewish blood, let's keep the bloodline pure. Like that's not the point. The
yeah?
point isn't that.
so
The
what's the
heart of
point?
it is I mean, my question since getting probably before getting married is like what with the little education I have, like very, very little education I have. I didn't even go to college, but I mean, even on on a Jewish level, like I go to Shirim and I listen and stuff, but I never went to seminary or anything. Came into it too late and then boom, got married. Thank God. Love my husband. What am I gonna give my children? Like, oh my
Yeah, what are you
God,
going to tell?
what am
Exactly.
I? Yeah,
If your children come to you and say, "What does it mean to be Jewish?"
we're gonna look it up together and learn together. Like that, there's not gonna be a BS answer. Like we're gonna learn together. I think that's where my strength and sort of humility is I don't know much, but we're gonna find an answer together.
Okay.
Um, and I think that kind of goes back to the whole like, can we all be a little more honest with what we believe in and what we know? Like, if you don't know something as a parent, your kid can smell it.
Smell BS.
Yeah, and also like if a parent actually cares about it, you can not know but care. Um,
So that's a question.
yeah,
So, right, because you are such a cool, unique kind of person, because pretty much everyone who we speak to, like,
fine.
they know.
I
You're
don't
like,
know.
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm a genuine seeker, and
Yeah.
but why are you? What is making you? It's actually, we know the answer. It's this Jewish spirit we're talking about, but like you're a Jewish activist, or you're a Jewish social media person now, right? You're out there promoting this thing or supporting this thing online. So where's that come from?
Honestly, it's not like a something I love admitting, but I think I do have a really like, oh, I could cry. Like I'm not going to, but I want to. Like deep fear that I'm not enough of the next Jewish generation, especially in the diaspora. I'm not too worried about Israel, but like Gen Z, what is it, Alpha after that? Don't have this like chazak, look at what we've done. We need to keep going.
What can we give them?
Yeah, but what? Hold on. I want to ask, why do we need to keep to do anything? I mean, why do people need to do anything? This goes back to this very deep, honest question.
Yeah.
Almost every person we speak to, not necessarily here, but outside,
Yeah.
if they could have their way, many people would just want to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
I grew up in Tel Aviv. People don't walk the streets like, "Oh, I want to be good Jewish, proud."
Right.
Like, no, I just want to
I
live
mean,
my
it's
life,
I think
right?
it's a big I'm privileged in that it wasn't shoved down my throat from age 5. Like I didn't go to Beis Yaakov where like dressing tznius was like you do this, you're a bad, you're a slut or whatever. It's all chosen by me. And I think I'll admit that's a huge benefit to me. So like where I'm coming from. But I think like thinking about what we could potentially lose, it starts to matter a little more. And I also think there should be room for being Jewish in different ways. Like, kind of goes back to your question about where do the Jews go who are on the left or the right or whatever, but they're not
What do
Orthodox
we
or they're
lose?
not.
What do we lose if we don't have Jews?
Yeah, maybe we've
The
had enough.
world can do without us.
Yeah,
But
maybe
I'm
the
asking you,
world.
what do we
Listen,
lose?
statistically, we make no sense. That's one of
No,
the points we make.
exactly.
We should have, by nature
Been wiped out
standards,
for
should have
sure.
disappeared, right?
Mhm.
Like all other ancient nations, it's done, it's finished,
Right.
goodbye. There's a small group and you disappear. We did not disappear. Not only we didn't disappear, we didn't even grow in number. We kind
For
of kept
sure.
the same numbers, the same ratio remained. And that gave us a clue that we have a certain nature needs us. You can say the God, the creator, or you could just be more pragmatic. We live in a system and something about our presence is required.
Right.
Now the question is what is needed, And what are we doing now that we're getting this negative reaction from the system? What can we do to change that? Something that we do to maybe get a better reaction, different reaction? Because clearly they're reacting to us. It's not like I don't even blame them necessarily, for being ignorant or this or that. I'm saying something is provoking that
For sure.
reaction, and it's not the little, superficial things. Oh, they're jealous. That this, that. Those are fine. People are jealous of other people. They don't try to constantly destroy them. There's
Yeah,
something
for
deeper.
sure.
Exactly. So that's what we're asking. What is this thing that is very Jewish that we have, not certain practices or certain thing, but what qualities, what internal qualities that we have that we can give maybe the rest of the world that we're not giving or not living up to, at least not even giving as an example to, let's say.
I think you guys are big on Jewish unity. I think that's like one of the biggest things that with the destruction of the Second Holy Temple, it wasn't our fault, but a big reason why that happened was like an element of why that happened was internal disunity. And I
Yeah,
think
wait a minute, it wasn't our fault. That was 100% our fault.
no, there
Titus
are
was,
other factors.
well, like what? Titus just walked in and just picked, just
No, but
finished the job.
the biggest probably contributing factor is like disunity among us.
Yeah, killing million people of our own people by our own hands. That's all us.
But God forbid that would happen again. And I think what we saw leading up to October
Almost.
7th
Yeah,
was
exactly.
a big example of that. Oh, the lefties are screw this, and the right wing people are protesting the left wing. And my sister-in-law was like, like she didn't say I hate, she's too pious, like she's too holy. She's like, I can't stand any of it. They're all wrong. And I was kind of like, no, let the protesters protest, freedom of speech, healthy democracy is protesting. And now looking back, look at what happened on October 7th. Suddenly that's what it took to unify us. I think that's what we could contribute if we decide to and get our shit together. Excuse
This
my
is the question.
cursing.
This is the question. No, we're like free. You can curse whatever you want. We're trying to really
I
get
was
to the
raised for
bottom.
curse. I
We're
can't
trying
get
to
rid
get
of
to the bottom of this. So, and we actually usually ask our guests this question: does it take an October 7th in order
It shouldn't.
to get
It
to the
shouldn't have
unity?
to, but it did. And something that bothers me now is that I see so many well-meaning lefty Jews, like friends who are left-wing or socially progressive, whatever, go back to, oh, Ben Gvir. And I'm like, this is still your focus?
In
Like,
Israel?
no, all over, across the board. People who are like politically engaged or like aware, whether they're in Israel or not, suddenly they're like shifting focus and they're not focusing on unity. And I'm like, do we want to end up right back where we were? Because I don't. I'm done like bickering over merits, Likud, blah, blah, blah. Like it
Right.
doesn't, that's not
No,
the point of living.
it's annoying. And by the way, just for the sake of anyone who doesn't live here, there's now a whole thing, like the whole government is about to fall probably because of this
Yeah.
draft law that's about to be passed, and it will require 66,000
Ah,
Haredi
yeah.
people under the age of 26 to be conscripted, right?
Yep.
Because when that law was passed, when the state was established, there were only a few hundred people Haredi, and Ben-Gurion was like, just let them study. It's like, who cares? But now that there's almost 70,000 of them
Yeah. I mean,
at
that's
that
what you
age.
get when your population increases that much and the rest of us don't keep
Exactly.
up.
Exactly, and people, some people say, well, you gotta share the burden. It makes
Right.
sense. On the other hand, if you don't share the same values, why would they
Right.
go die for something they don't believe in, right? So there's this whole. So I'm just adding
Ah.
more
Oh,
complexity to
totally. That's a whole topic we could have another.
So tell us, because not everyone understands when you say the government could fall apart, or just
because because in the
hold on.
last few years, Bibi built his coalition on the far right and religious right Haredi
Yeah.
parties. That's his coalition. So if he turns around and say yes, absolutely, pass that, let that law pass, they quit and we go to another round of election. It's number 6. So it's all very precarious. And that's
All
in the
precarious.
middle of war and everything, and maybe another front in Lebanon, and the army says we're short 7,000 people now. It's like everything is interconnected. And look, we're not. We can see Seth and I that obviously we have zero control over the political right mechanisms and everything else. We're trying to touch what's actually within our reach, and what's within our
Yeah,
reach is the way we relate to each other, our
for
hearts,
sure.
right? That's the thing that we think we're missing, and that's the hardest thing to commit to, even though everyone, not a single person who came on the show, objected. It's like, no, stupid idea. But no one,
They did say
re
we're too idealistic or too
yeah,
utopian, or they definitely
yeah,
called us that.
it's a good, it's a good idea. We should, but it's like, it's when will it be enough to say this is number one national priority? Focusing on that before all the other budgets and this and that and the other this, and not just here. Jews abroad, Jews in Israel, everybody won. I don't want Schumer to say something against Israel and this. No, Jews become again this collective that
Oh,
people
yeah.
see us as already. Can we do it as a matter of national security, national future,
Oh,
if you
big
will?
time.
So how do we do it? Oh, come
How
on.
do you do it? My husband's gonna get annoyed with me for saying this, but I have this joke among my girlfriends. I go up to them and I'm like, "You want to start a political party with me?" And like, you can translate because my Hebrew is like that bad. But I feel like we need new parties. I want an all women Dati party that prioritizes the social progressive stuff, but is an iron fist with security. That's what I want, and men aren't allowed in.
I like it.
Thank
Seth,
you.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the ones with guns.
we came out of Egypt thanks to righteous women. So I mean,
Yeah, why not?
that's a
More
big thing.
dancing, more singing, more joy, but also like yeah, I like haha, it's a nice idea, but in reality, like the logical side of my brain is
Let me
like,
ask you something, because we're always very, very, very big picture, but I just have your Instagram open and I'm kind of
oh God.
inspired. Is there is there is there a way for you to appeal?
I'm so nervous.
Is there a way for you to appeal to young secular Jews? Like can
Or,
you,
or, or even women, young secular, young
yeah,
women.
young secular Jewish women?
Don't already?
I don't know what it is.
I
I'm
actually
really
don't
not
know
on social
either.
media, but I'm not really on social media. But to like to find them, to show them, um I see in New York like just endless women like walking around with these little puppies, and like I see them
Aw.
taking all of the energy that they, I know puppies are nice, but
I
I
have a
see them
puppy right
take
there. Sorry,
I
yeah.
see them taking all of this energy that like belongs on their
On the
baby,
baby.
and they're
Oh
putting it
my
on their
gosh.
dog like in a stroller and with the
Like,
shoes
yeah.
and the thing and all the stuff, and it's fine. I get it. It's a super confusing world, and there's a lot of problems, but I think that they don't feel like what it could be like to have somebody by your side who makes you feel confident, like a
Oh
man
my
by
gosh.
your side who makes you feel confident, who protects you, who cares
A
about you.
husband or
Yeah,
wife,
like a
whatever you're into.
husband, yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, but I'm saying like to give these young Jewish
Oh my gosh,
women
yeah. I feel
some
like underneath, isn't that what everyone wants? Like, even if like you're a little discouraged and then suddenly you turn poly and you're like, I don't need anyone or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, you want a husband, you want a nice Jewish home, you want security. And I think the whole like, I think I'm just gonna like have a dog as a child and like six different relationships at once. I'm making a stereotype, like the
yeah, that
extreme
me too.
stereotype of
Yeah.
like a Brooklynite, but sorry. um that was the social circle I was in. I never fit into it. I've wanted a kid since I was 21. Like I've never been like that myself, but like enough of my friend group was like that when I was living in Brooklyn. I hear you when I think like underneath, that's not actually what people want. They just don't think, they don't believe that they can have,
What is it that they want?
I think everyone wants security and like to create their own little, like their own cozy sphere, coziness.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So I'm I'm
but
I'm 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 recommending or just saying to you, maybe it's exactly what you're doing, but I think that people need to know that it exists, that there's an
Oh,
option. I
for
think
sure,
most
for
young
sure.
people don't even know it's a possibility. And also, most people are not gonna like you're a pioneer. Most people are not gonna
A
go all the
pioneer.
way. No,
Thank
I
you.
mean like you took on the lifestyle, you jumped in, you moved to Israel. Like not everyone is can do
Yeah,
that.
and it's not always
Most
possible for everyone. I understand that
Yeah,
it's
but so
a big degree of privilege.
they need a way to do it like that they can integrate it into their life.
For sure. I'm a wannabe shadchanit. I'm my mission. I get like a weird high off of like, oh my God, I can see them working together. Just set two people up last night. And my thing is like, I don't have a network, I don't have a spreadsheet. I should, but I really believe like in Jewish couples and security in a nice home. And there shouldn't be this like what I've heard. I was set up with my husband on a like from a mutual friend. It wasn't through a shadchan, but there needs to be a shadchan out there, whether it's me or someone else takes it up, who doesn't discriminate against religiosity, sexual orientation, whatever. But like we need to create nice Jewish homes, whatever that means for each couple and what they decide. And I'm like very big into like you eat shellfish, like it's not my business. You are on your own trajectory. I'll try to find you a match.
But once you get together though, it's only the beginning, it's not the end. So
Exactly.
they also need like to learn how to be together, how to deal with things. But what I'm most like inspired by right now is that the possibility of you reaching all of these young women.
You're so kind. I want to.
No, we're just desperate.
Yeah,
Uh,
we need you to
I'm
actually.
trying. I
No,
will try harder. I feel like now I have a clearer mission thanks to you two. I don't
I
know what I'm doing with my social media. To me, it's
Well,
like
think about that
catharsis
emptiness that
and
think
anger
about the
management,
emptiness that
creating
all
creative
of
outlet.
think about the emptiness that all of those young women feel, and they don't know that there is another option. They don't know there's another
And
possibility.
men. There's also this
Men
like,
too.
I'm just gonna sleep around, I'm gonna date non-Jewish women, which is like, okay, you do that, but like, but will you regret it in 10 years and 15 years? I don't know. If you don't, good luck. But like, if you do, you don't want to lock someone into like you being like, actually, I think I want to go to shul, and they're like, you're Jewish? Like, what? You know?
I,
Or not. Maybe they don't want to go to shul and that's not in their interest. But I feel like creating Jewish homes on a
we
really
think
big spectrum of what that can look like is super important.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you know when Seth and I you know we study Kabbalah and we
Oh,
kind of get
cool.
into the heart of things, like you know, as we said, more the internality of things. And people who
Cool.
follow the show, they know that we lean into that because we feel
Wow.
it's, you know, it's where, you know, our the roots of who we are.
For sure.
And the woman, the root, the spiritual root of the woman is so deep. And the woman is this, the womb, the home, the right. It's that quality. The
Yeah.
vessel is
Yeah.
the woman, is the vessel. The man is just like, you know, the little quality that can
No, I love,
overcome.
I love
No,
men.
no, everybody's needed, but it's more like, you
Yeah,
know, it's like we play two necessary roles, but
for sure.
it's almost like the men need to open the, you know, turn the faucet, but then
Yeah.
woman will know what to, will contain the water, know what to do with it, and or the men bring the
Beautiful.
spark, the woman will keep the fire, and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. You can take that in every direction you
Oh, for
want,
sure.
and it's really just about understanding the inner qualities. You know, if we were the same, there was no need for two of the same things. We're clearly different for that reason. We bring different things to the table, and the men have brought enough to the table for now. We have work to do, but we really need the women to kind of step up and own this. Like this is this planet. This is ours. There's no other home. We need it, and it needs to be in good condition. In order to do that, we need our the countries to be strong. To do that, we need strong communities. To do that, we need strong
Sure.
families. We need a strong home. That's the starting point. All the studies point to that, right? Everything.
I have to say, I know two people, two people who I believe come from reform backgrounds. I'm not really sure, but they're like very chazak. Like they married or they're with non-Jews. One is married to a non-Jew and one is married or is dating a non-Jew. And she never thought she would, but they're like what's keeping their household Jewish. They made sure their household will be Jewish by saying, we're not having Christmas, we're not having whatever. Like, if you want to do this with me, we're doing Chag, we're doing Shabbat, we're doing all this. You don't need to convert, but our kids need to know that they're Jewish because I'm the Ima and I'm setting the tone, and their partners are completely on board. I feel like that's really rare, but apparently it's doable. So in the sense that you're saying, Leo, like, yes, I just think it's easier when two people have a shared
For
identity.
sure, but I also think that, you know, if when women decide something in earnest, the men cannot resist it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen
Yeah,
let's
a
let's
little.
go be kidding around here, you know. So
Charming.
yeah. So all I'm saying is that I think there's a real quality here that needs to start shining in the world, because what men can bring is like more war, more of that friction. Fine, we need it, but like, all right, okay, we have the fire going. You can put the stones down, right?
Sure.
Like we need something else. We needed this new quality, and I feel that it's something that Jews always had this, like even like non-Jews looking in, oh, right, these, like in the religious community, we know the divorce rate
Right.
is low. Yes, they have their problems. They need to make a lot of corrections, but there is a home there, right? Where a
Yeah.
lot of people today don't even have that.
Right.
So I'm saying that there's something there, and you're not
Yeah,
the
and I think
first
we need to
one.
realize the potential we have.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
I think if we show the world that, yes, we're serious about it and it works, doesn't matter what progressive ideas you have in your head.
for
A
sure.
child needs a home to grow in. A seed needs an environment to grow. You have
You
all
know,
the
where there's
metaphors.
going to be after all these people chop off their genitals and try every possible. No, seriously, after
No, I
all of
know.
these things are
Grace.
done, like I also don't always feel comfortable in my body, not because of gender. I mean, I wake up some days and I'm like, I think I think it's part of being a human being is that we don't feel at home
Yeah,
inside our body, right? So
sure.
after people try all of these crazy
They're still not
things
happy.
and they're still not
Yeah,
happy, then
They'll,
someone will be,
they'll need to
then they'll
come
be
home
ready to
somewhere.
hear.
Yeah,
for
they'll need to
sure.
come.
So
So,
we need to be ready.
look, we unfortunately we have to finish because I have another I have another broadcast soon. So,
Ooh.
but yeah, listen, it sounds like we can sit here and
Yeah,
talk
and
more.
talk all day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel honored. I don't know how you found me.
Well,
Little
someone,
gnome on the internet.
yeah,
No, we're looking for all of the Jews out there who we feel that can
You're so
we can
kind.
expand our circle and who can reach people. And we are interested in connecting all the Jews who agree. We're not going to start with billions. We're not going to start with the whole world at first, and we're not going to start with all the Jews at first. We want to connect with all the Jews who feel that this connection matters, and try and build a critical mass in this first, in
Yeah,
that inner circle, and resonate out from there. So
right,
it's
right.
it's
Just this feeling, just this, bring that to more and
Totally.
more and more people. And I was wondering if you could do us a final favor and read this little quote from the Book of
Oh, for
Zohar,
sure.
about the woman. Maybe that
Sure,
would be
sure.
a nice way to finish. Yeah.
Quote, and every wise woman's heart is woven with her hands, meaning to say that a woman's wisdom is central to the heart, and it is written on the verse, quote, and the Lord God built the rib, end quote, which gave greater intelligence in a woman who understood that the heart is more in a woman. It's beautiful and true. Wait, can I
Leo,
finish like a
yeah.
little piece of advice for single people out there?
Oh
Something
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
said
Sure, sure, sure.
so
Go ahead.
wise when we were like talking about why we worked at the very beginning. He's like, I think we both can offer the other what the other one needs, not like you can give me what I need, but I can offer you what you need. And I'm like, oh no, he's so deep. uh yeah, that's all. I love him. He's a very deep, wise person.
So beautiful.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So,
To
this is
find
it,
someone who
friends.
you can offer things to, like you feel confident. Oh, I have that. That's easy for me to give them. Good. I don't know, maybe with everyone too, like friends.
Yeah, maybe we'll finally figure out a way that how to
Unify the Jews.
how to complete each other. Yes, yes. You
Yeah.
know. All right.
Thank you
Mairi,
so much. Have a
thanks.
nice
Mairi.
week.
We'll
You
see you
too.
around.
Great. We
Bye.
finally have a friend in Tekoa. I never
Yeah. Wild out here.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank
bye.
you so much, Mairi.
Goodbye.
We'll stay here and wrap up. That is another talk, right? Like I had no idea who we were gonna find, and then you find this great person who could be totally different than you and a different lifestyle than you, but there we are, like, you know, just getting excited about what we're all doing. I think I kind of have a feeling this is a little bit what this is about.
We're discovering all of these parts of our family, and I hope really soon that the energy of the family is strong enough that other people will start smelling it, feeling it, valuing it, and then just that love, the whole world can become a family. Slowly, you know, step by step, but
Yeah, little things like that. Yeah, nothing didactic, nothing, you know, just like talk to someone, you know, discover them. All right, Seth,
you.
this is the Thejewfunction. As usual, we're trying to be here live every Sunday. Sometimes we're not, but you'll forgive us. As I said, 2 great talks coming up as well. Look out for them. And leave us comments, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We want to spread the word and continue to grow. We're growing now on Instagram as well, so go find us there if you haven't already. There'll be more interesting things there, quotes and other things like that. So this is the Thejewfunction.